At that point, the doctor started doing a lot of testing, and that lasted for a while. And he eventually, they saw him every 6 months, and the doctor just basically told him that, that he would probably die from other causes before he ever, had to go on dialysis. But through the years, his kidneys started deteriorating, and by the time 2013 rolled around, they started going down and kept decreasing. And finally, in 2016, he had got referred to be on the transplant list, and that took a lot of testing. But he finally got listed with Piedmont in Atlanta and has been on there since then. We have a Facebook page up. It's called Kidney for Marty. He did start dialysis in 2017, and he goes 3 times a week. But we've had there's been one person that tested in their body, something didn't correlate, so they want a match. And then we had another lady that got all the way through the testing and had gotten to Atlanta, and they ended up finding out that she had a little place on her kidney that was cancer, and so it ended up being good that she got tested, because then that way she could get treatment for herself, because she was only 34 with a little boy. So we were happy, that something good came out of it.
Right.
And that's about where we at. It's just, reaching out. He needs someone that has O blood. O's are hard to get because there's so many people that need those, and O's can only get from O.
Well, and when we're talking about Marty, we're talking about a man who loves his family, obviously loves his wife, and wants to continue living, and how important it is that somebody go and get tested at Piedmont for Marty. And if somebody's willing to do that, that's obviously what we're trying to reach out to people now, is to go and get tested. Do you know what that process is at the beginning of a person says, yes, I want to be a donor, and they go and get tested?
Yes, I know when you call, you talk to the transplant coordinator, Miss Leann Whitehead. She's a real nice lady, but if she'll ask you, a bunch of questions and all, and if you pass that, then she sets up for you to take your blood pressure at least 3 times a day for like 3 days or a week, and you have to send that in. And then if you have no problems, blood pressure problems, then she sends you an order to have routine lab work. And after that process, then you have a urine, a 24-hour urine, and so it's a lot of steps. It's small steps that takes up time, but it's nothing, that his insurance would cover, for all that testing. And you can have everything done local until you get up to the very end where they say that you are a match, and then they would bring you into Atlanta for like a 1-day testing done there at the hospital.
Okay. Well, tell us about how the holidays were for you with the family this year.
Oh, they were good. It's we had fun, with the family, and we have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. So, but with dialysis, I mean, you don't miss even if it's a holiday. I mean, you still go on those days, and it's it kind of controls your life, of having to always be on a schedule, as far as, dialysis after usually he goes and he wants to eat a little bit, and then he's kind of drained the rest of the day. And then the next day he feels a little bit better, but then by the next day it's time to go back. So it's just kind of it's just kind of stressful sometimes.
Well, and as you know, we've reached out to some other stations down in your area because you are located not too far from Dothan. And I believe that there's supposed to be a new segment running here shortly about Marty's story. And hopefully that'll help too. And I'll continue to try to reach out as I can to try to get more media coverage on this, because obviously, you know, this is just a start. But if we can start with one story and then get another story and another one, then maybe that one person that's out there will reach them for Marty.
Well, I sure do appreciate anybody that's willing to go, and like I said, insurance does cover it. I know it's a lot to think about. I'm not a match. I have A blood, but if anybody, I mean, I know a lot of people don't think about it, but you know, it would help a lot of people just putting it on your donor card. If you don't want to give while you're alive, then, you know, make sure that you put it on your let your family know, and
Yes,
in that way.
absolutely. And we've had so many people through this show that have come on and been the recipients of those donations from people who did have it, that they wanted to be a donor after they passed away. And that's vitally important as well.
But if anybody wants to reach out, you would have to call Leann Whitehead, and that's at Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. You would have to tell her it's for Marty Brunson that you're calling about. And first of all, you would have to have O blood type. Her number is 404-605-4605. And I appreciate, Mark, you having me on the show today, or this morning, and God bless each one of you.
Absolutely, Brendan. And I appreciate you being willing to come on, and we'll talk some more outside of the show and try to come up with some different ideas as we move forward to try to help Marty. So thank you, and tell Marty that he's being prayed for and that we wish him all the best, and we wish your family all the best as we enter the new year.
Thank you, Mark. And I appreciate you taking the time and giving me such good ideas as far as, you know, reaching out and letting people know. And I appreciate the time that you've given me this morning.
You're welcome, Brenda. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And we've been talking to Brenda Brunson. Her husband, Marty, needs a kidney donation. He is O blood type, so it needs to be an O blood type person to be tested at Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. That number again is 404-605-4605, and the contact is Leann Whitehead. So if you have O blood type and you want to reach out, call that number and help this family. I wanted to bring Brenda on this morning to help her and Marty. They are from the Dothan area in Alabama, so hopefully they will get what they're needing, and Marty can go and continue his life with his wife and grandkids and children. When we come back, we are going to have Heat Up Huntsville. Addy Humphrey, Addy, known as Addy. She started Heat Up Huntsville. She's just a little girl, but she's done some big things this winter to help the homeless in the Huntsville, Alabama area. So we're looking forward to having Addy on the program. You are listening to The Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White. And we are back. Earlier this week, I had an opportunity to talk to Raymond Thompson. Raymond is from Brooklyn, New York. He's looking for a kidney donation for his wife, Mylen. A reporter from CNN actually took a picture of him in a store in Brooklyn and shared it, and it went viral. I reached out to Raymond to see if I could help through the Mark White Show, and his wife is needing B positive blood donor type. So let's go straight to Raymond and our interview earlier this week. This is a very important interview with my friend Raymond Thompson of Brooklyn, New York. He is trying to find a kidney for his wife, Mylen, and he was actually in a store in the area in New York City, and Lilith Marcus of CNN Travel took a picture of a sign that was on Raymond's backpack, and that sign went viral. But you know, the thing about it is, though millions and millions of people find it and see it, he just needs one person with a kidney with B positive blood type to donate a kidney to his wife. And I invited Raymond to the program today. Raymond, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark.
A lot of people have seen the sign now. Just, if you would, tell us a little bit about your wife and how the need started.
Oh, well, this actually started 2 years ago. She was diagnosed with kidney failure. I was at work one day and she called me. She's like, hey, babe, you need to come home right now. I'm not feeling well. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, hey, I can't feel my right side. And I'm like, what do you mean you cannot feel your right side? She said, my right side is numb. So my mom lived in the same building as us. We live on the 4th floor. She lives on the 2nd floor. So I'm like, okay, call my mom and have my mom watch Rachel, because we have a daughter. She's 4 years old. Mm-hmm. So my mom came up and, she watched Rachel, and, she went to the hospital in New York City at, NYU. So I came home, see how Rachel was doing. So after that, I head over there. We spent a few hours there just talking to doctors and just waiting for results. So it was getting late, so I came back home. And like the next day, she called me and she's like, hey, babe, I have kidney disease. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I have kidney disease. I have to do dialysis 3 days a week. And like a year after that, I saw a gentleman with a sign, a shirt. He was actually in Disney World. He's like, hey, I'm in need of a kidney. He has his blood type and his phone number, and something just went off inside of me. And I'm like, okay, I could do something like that.
Yes.
So that's where the idea actually came from. I created that sign and just put it on my back. So whenever I'm going to work, it's there with me. And that's actually the third sign that I have on my bag. I lost the previous two. I got stuck on a subway train door. It got pulled off. And one time I was walking over the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was very windy, and it got ripped off. So that's where it all started.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned somebody else who had the sign that gave you the idea. I have another person, Brenda Brunson. Her husband also needs a kidney. He's O positive. And I'd mentioned the sign to her, and she thought that was a great idea as well. So just the fact that you are sharing this sign is also a potential help to other people who are needing donors. So I commend you for that too.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing thing. But let's talk about how we can help your wife right now. How old is she?
She's 37.
37. So she's just 2 years younger than I am. And I have a 5-year-old myself. So I understand, the demands of having a little girl. And we want to try to help you and your daughter help your wife. And so just give the audience right now some information about what they need to do to reach out, be positive people, and what needs to happen.
Okay. So they already saw the sign on my bag, and there's a phone number there. They can always text me and call me. If you call and I do not answer, you can leave a voicemail. I'll call you right back. Or if you want to get like a quick response, just like text me and I would text you back right away. So those are the best ways to actually get in contact with me.
Let me ask you a quick question, Raymond. Before your wife was diagnosed with a kidney disease, had you ever been around anyone who needed a donor or had this experience before?
Actually, her dad did. He was actually diagnosed with kidney failure too. But luckily, he did not, last too long. I believe he lost like a year and he passed away.
Yes.
Complication to that. So besides that, no one else. since she's been diagnosed, I usually go to the dialysis center sometimes. And she did spend a few weeks in the hospital too because she got like infection from her catheter because she had it like 3 times. So I've been in there. I've seen people like sitting there actually doing that. And it's a sight you do not want to see too often because it gets to you.
Yes.
Like, hey, this person has to sit there or that person has to sit there. And this is what they have to do. And the person that actually taking care of that person, they feel that too. Whatever stress that person is going on, you're feeling that also.
How's your little girl handling it, Raymond?
She's handling it pretty good. She's a trooper. She knows exactly what is going on. Especially sometimes, her mom is not here. I sit her down, I explain to her, like, hey, Rachel, mommy is not feeling well. She's in the hospital. She would be home in a couple of days. You can always call and talk to her. So she understands. She knows exactly what is going on.
Well, I hope that just like when it was shared from Lilith, that this show will also reach somebody else who will also try to help as well. But ultimately, we hope that your wife finds a donor, somebody who's a match. I know that there's some certain tests that people have to go through to be a match, but I know that you would also probably ask people who are not necessarily be positive, but anybody out there who's willing to be a donor for somebody who needs a kidney or other type of donation, that you would be a person who would help promote that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The importance and the value of it. Well, I'm going to tell you, Raymond, I'm thankful that picture was taken and that I could reach out to you. And I hope that my listeners through the Mark White Show will share this with others. I've got the phone number on the post, so we're going to make sure that all the information that people need is connected with this so that they can get in touch with you if somebody's willing to donate. And I hope Mylen continues to handle her treatments well, and tell her to hang in there, that we're trying to help how we can. And I pray for blessings for your family.
Thank you very much, Mark. I really appreciate the help.
Raymond, thank you. And I know you're busy. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, you got it. And I want to wish you all the best. Happy New Year. And you said you have a guest that's coming on Friday also. I just want to wish her all the best too, and finding a kidney for her husband too.
Thank you. Her name is Brenda Brunson and her husband's name Marty. So I appreciate you saying that, Raymond.
All right, thank you. No problem.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
You too.
And I've been talking to Raymond Thompson. His wife, Mylen, needs a kidney transplant. She needs a kidney donor. B positive blood type is what is needed for that. The sign was taken by Lilith Marcus of CNN Travel. It was just a sign on a backpack. What a great idea. If you know someone who's needing a kidney transplant or a donor of some type, maybe that's something that you might want to do. It's a simple thing. Take the sign and attach it if that person has a loved one they're needing, because hey, somebody took a picture of it. It went viral. And now he has a better chance, because he's reaching millions of people, to get that kidney for his wife so that she can be there for their 4-year-old daughter, and she can be a wife to Raymond. And I appreciate Raymond being willing to come on the show today. They're from Brooklyn, New York. The number again, 917-442-6202. That number again, 917-442-6202. And when we come back, we're going to have Addy Humphrey, known as Addy, Heat Up Huntsville. She is the founder of Heat Up Huntsville. She's going to be with us, and we're going to have her when we come back from a short break. You're listening to the Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White. All right. Good. My first guest didn't show up today. So she didn't show up, but I was able to go to a different guest who was going to come on. And I'm kind of throwing my schedule a little different than I was. So I was crossing my fingers that y'all were going to make it.
Well, turn around. We ended up on a dead-end road into a trailer park.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think this is it.
No.
I think it's about a half mile back behind you.
So you had it in the GPS as 19245 Highway 120.
I just copied and pasted what you sent.
Okay.
And then for some reason,
and that's okay. Well, you're here, so that's the main thing.
But now that was Waze. But now when I put it in Google,
It worked. Okay, let's do a test on this mic here, Addy. Right here. And just do testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Just keep saying it.
Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3.
Okay, we're good. That was Thelma Lou from the Andy Griffith Show doing my liner. She came on the show in September.
Oh, that's cool.
Betty Lynn's her name.
Wow.
Me too. And we are back. We have big heroes and we have little heroes. And right now we have 12-year-old Addison Humphrey, also known as Addy. And she founded Heat Up Huntsville. What an amazing story she has, wanting to help others and be a hero for other people who do not have the comforts that some of us have. And Addy, welcome to the Mark White Show.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. You're a pretty little girl.
Thank you.
And I've seen a lot of hugs in pictures. And why are these people giving you hugs? What's making them want to be close to you and give you hugs and thank you?
Well, I guess it's just because of how comforted they feel or how much like they appreciate the help maybe.
What are you doing to help them?
We're like raising money and we're gathering up blankets, coats, scarves, gloves, stuff to keep them warm throughout the winter and just throughout the year even to help them if they need it really.
So you've been on this earth for 12 years. What makes you have an appreciation for people who have less than you do?
Well, I notice these people on the streets and I think like I really want to help them. Like I know that there's something that I can do. And so I took it like to my place so that I could help them. And I just decided to do what I could and try my best.
And that's a really special attitude. And for some people, it takes a lifetime to get to that point, to see that, to have that vision that you see other people that are struggling in need. And so I want to say I appreciate you for having that attitude toward people who have less. And you're going to go far in life because of noticing those things and being aware, and not just being aware, but wanting to do something about it. That makes a big difference in the lives of people. And you've seen the difference that it's made in people's lives, have you not?
Yes, very much.
So when people tell you that you've helped through this organization, Heat Up Huntsville, what are they telling you, Addy? What are they saying to you?
Like, they're
appreciating, they're saying thank
Yeah.
you, and they're
They
showing their
enjoy it.
appreciation for you. Are any of them just like, wow, there's a 12-year-old
Yeah.
that's doing this?
Yes.
They call her their angel.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
So you're Dad,
I am.
and introduce yourself to the Mark White Show listeners.
My name is David, and I'm Addy's, better known as Addy's dad. And that's a title I proudly wear, so that's fine. But one of the cool things is we went back, met a young lady, and Addy really wanted to help her, but it was one of our last stops. And so we were out of tents and things like that at that point. But she had a big hole in the one that she was using and didn't have one. And she was also being forced to move to another area. And so we told them we would come back. And when we actually came back the next day with the tent, she was telling the others there, when we walked up, she pointed at Addy and said, "This is the angel I was telling you about."
Wow.
And I think it really surprised them that we said we would come back and actually did, because they kind of acted like they hear that a lot of times, but they don't see people that second or third time around. Sometimes people, have great intentions and will do something on that first time, but to actually come back and check on them and bring back things that they requested. And
Right.
So I think that's kind of been really rewarding for us, is just to see those relationships and to bring hope. And that was one of the things that, for me, it challenged me to notice and be aware of things that sometimes, we get tunnel vision. We're driving down the road, we've got somewhere to be and that kind of thing. And then I would look back in the back seat and see her emotionally moved by things that I didn't even notice.
Right.
And it's been a challenge to me to slow down and to notice those things. So she's working on Dad as much as anybody else through this thing.
I understand.
So.
Well, and you mentioned you made a good point too, that a lot of times we'll have that first impact of help, and then the return trips may not happen
Sure.
After the first trip. Christmas is a great example of that. And I want people to understand that people need help year round.
Exactly.
Christmas is a great time for people to say, hey, I want to help other people, and to throw in what they can to help. But that help needs to continue on as we're able to do that.
Absolutely.
And throughout the year, not just Christmas. Now Christmas is over, we've got a long way to next Christmas.
Right.
And if people have to wait for help every Christmas, they've got a lot of months to get through before they're going to get help again.
Exactly.
So we want to remind people that Christmas is over, but yet we need to help people throughout the year as we can. What is it about Addy, do you think, that causes her to have an awareness of what's going on around her with people who are struggling?
She's always been tenderhearted. She's always been someone who cares about other people. But I also feel like it's a product of her surroundings. We're part of a great church. I'm a local worship pastor in Huntsville. And our whole mission of our church is love, reach, and serve. And I think that's really something that for me, it makes me very proud that she's kind of taken on, that personality to say, I want to be a part of that. It's not just something dad does or mom does, but it's something that I want to be a part of as well. And so she came to me, and it really kind of started as, hey, can I ask, the grandparents at Christmas time, instead of just Christmas gifts, can they help me gather coats and gloves and any money that I get put toward that? And because I want to help people be warm and that kind of thing. So it started as that. Well, then she sent out a text message to family, and she sent it to some friends. She sent it to some our youth pastor, and she started getting a really big response back. And then so we put up a little post on my Facebook page, and I just said, hey guys, this is something that Addy's doing. Well, I started getting overwhelming response from several states. I had to start a fundraiser on Facebook just so that people could give money from other states, because we weren't set up for any of that.
Right.
And it was kind of literally in a 24-hour period. This sobbing dad sat there, and with every donation that came in, it was just very moving. She was still in school that day. And so when she got out of school, I did it around lunchtime. By the time she got out of school, I said, Addy, you're not going to believe what happened today. And basically we had raised over $350 before she even got out of school. And so that was the beginning of, we said, okay, this is apparently going to be bigger than dad's trunk. So we ended up borrowing a trailer from the church. Because she sent it to family members, well, they mentioned it to people at their church. Then other churches got involved, and then businesses found out about it, wanted to get involved. We were fortunate enough to be on WHNT, and Dallas Parker was a big help there.
Yes.
And so we were able to be involved with that. Well, that got people calling. So now, even this week after Christmas, I've had multiple calls, including companies that say, hey, as soon as you can set this thing up as a nonprofit, we want to include it in our giving with our employees so that they can do payroll deduction and start giving toward Heat Up Huntsville. Now, this is something I haven't even talked with Addy about yet, so she doesn't even know. But this is a phone call I got yesterday, and somebody that said, hey, also, when you do your next giveaway, let us know. We want to be a part of it.
That is great. Have you got the ball rolling on 501c3?
I do.
now?
We're in the process now. I've got some friends who are attorneys, and they're working on the paperwork and getting all that kind of stuff going. But again, this was kind of not planned out to be that way. And it was like, okay, so we need to make some preparations, talk to, starting a separate account, starting, keeping the receipts and spreadsheets and all that stuff. And I understand a lot of that from just being in ministry over the years, the accountability side of it. So because we really want to make sure that it's above board. And when people give, that it goes to homeless people right now, especially in Huntsville. But we've actually had other people that say, hey, they want to start something like this in their city. And so it's something that Addy's really been able to kind of inspire a lot of people with it, more than she realizes.
Well, some of the best ideas you're going to be thrown into the fire, so you're learning.
Right.
But who's going to turn down a 12-year-old girl?
Right.
I mean, really, if I came across and said, hey, we need this, this, and this, it might be a little harder. Yeah. But you are in a really great position right now with your youth. And you know a lot about, through studying the Bible, about youth and how young people were able to make a difference. And so just keep that in mind, that when things happen, when you face challenges with this, that even though you're young, there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of ability within you. And there's a lot of things that you're going to be able to do that other people, it would be more difficult for them to do. Right. So you're taking a torch right now and you're running with it. And it sounds like things are really working in a way that this project's being blessed, and it's an opportunity for you to connect with people that you otherwise never would connect with. The homeless people out there don't have the connections with people who have homes typically. And so you're getting an opportunity to understand people in their situations and get to know them. Handing them a blanket and handing them a toboggan is great. You get to know these people through their lives and what they've experienced. and then you start to gain some knowledge about why people are where they're at, and then you also learn how to help them too. So we appreciate what you're doing, Addy, through Heat Up Huntsville. And if people want to help right now, I know the 501c3 is getting formed and some people will wait for that.
Right.
But if they want to help right now, would you tell them to go to the Heat Up Huntsville Facebook page? How would you get them on board?
Well, I mean, really, you can Google it or something, just like heatuphuntsville.com or.
Wow, all you have to do is
Yeah.
Google it and it just comes right up.
It really is funny. You Google my name and you don't get very much, but if you Google her name, you'll see Heat Up Huntsville. And, so that was I was like, man, Addy, this thing kind of grows fast. But we do have plans for the future, and you can find out. We'll keep heatuphuntsville.com. We'll keep information there. And so anybody that has any questions can contact us there.
And we want to thank Dallas Parker for taking on the story. She's a friend of mine, and that's how I saw the story, Heat Up Huntsville. Yeah. And so one thing leads to another, and that's the way it works. And
absolutely.
So this will lead to something else, and you just keep rolling with it, keep your passion for it. Don't get discouraged. There's plenty of opportunities to be discouraged in anything we do. Yeah. Just keep pressing forward and take those positives and those good moments that you have and just gain a greater appreciation for what you're trying to do to help people. And you're going to do some amazing things.
We really appreciate the opportunity to come and share a little bit with you today. And it means a lot to her. It means a lot to us. And we're just very thankful for the response that we've gotten that's going to allow us to go forth and do some of the things it's going to turn into. We're already looking at partnering with somebody to do shoes during the summertime, some of those type things, because we've had a lot of response. People that are being able to get jobs and things like that. They need work boots. They need, nice shoes to wear and things like that. So we're going to make it a year-round thing. So we're not stopping by any means. She's ready.
And also, it's very much a great help, and we're so thankful for the support and the help that everybody gives, like how their donations. I'm so thankful for the donations, the help. It really means a lot. So
that's great. Well, and we were out the other day with my daughter Cora, and we went up to underneath the, I guess it's Memorial Parkway, and there was a gentleman who's he was wearing hospital pants. And they were all ripped up, and he was actually, you could see he was exposed in a way that we wouldn't want ourselves to be exposed. And there was a shop across the street that had medical clothes, and I was able to go in there. They had a discounted rack where you could buy more of those medical type pants. They're still sturdy, and a lot of nurses wear them. And so I was able to get this. So there's a clearance rack there with those type of pants. Yeah. And I was able to get him. And he got a Mark White Show shirt, not to promote. That's all the shirts I had.
Right.
So I gave him a Mark White Show shirt and some of these medical pants. But that was a place where they had a discounted rack where they're selling $3 or $4 a piece for the pants. And so something like that might be an opportunity too there at that medical shop, where if they're trying to clearance their stuff, they may give it at a discount on some of that. And those things do wear well as well. Some of those clothes. And
we have had several businesses that have said, "Hey, we want to be a part." A lot of times we don't even know how they're finding out about us. It's kind of grown to a point that we don't know where the connections are even coming from. They're just contacting us saying, "Hey, we heard about it. We want to help."
It's the way it happens, isn't it? I mean, we start something and we don't anticipate sometimes where it's going to go. And a lot of times it doesn't go as well as we hope. But this sounds like it's going much better than you ever hoped.
It went a lot farther than just grandparents, aunts, and uncles.
Yeah.
So,
and we've got somebody hiding around the corner. Yes. We'll just say hello to. That's Mom, I'm guessing.
This is my wife, Daphne.
Okay, Daphne's here. She hasn't said anything, but we appreciate you raising a good girl here. Absolutely. And at 12 years old, we appreciate you, Addy. And I want people to go and check out Heat Up Huntsville. Check out Heat Up Huntsville on Facebook. They're going to become a 501c3, so you can donate. I would encourage businesses to be a part of this as well. Help those folks, and maybe it can grow from Huntsville to other cities and communities that need this same help.
Yes.
So thank you both for being here. Thank you all for being here this morning.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good to see you. And you've been listening to Addy Humphrey, Heat Up Huntsville. I encourage you to go over there and check it out. She's doing a good work, and we appreciate Addy. She's just 12 years old. So if she's 12 and you're 24 and I'm 39 and 59, what's our excuse, right? So let's get out and do what we can in the year 2019 and help others and continue to make a difference, not just through the holidays, but through the regular days, because those days are those that people have to experience and struggle through, and we need to try to help them however we can. When we come back, we're going to have Debbie Hudson. Right now, she is missing her son. He's been missing in Mississippi. We're going to talk about that. So I hope you hang in here with me. That's during the Mary Faye Headrick Good Deed segment. You're listening to the Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White. You like my intro music, huh?
I do, yeah.
That was one of my favorite songs growing up, Paul Overstreet, Heroes. And I try to pick out songs that, just like Randy Travis, Points of Lights, my lead song for my show.
Okay.
So I use songs. Then I have the Good Deed segment. The song is Good Hearts and Dear Hearts and Gentle People.
Oh.
And it's an old song that my grandmother picked out. And so I use it. She passed away in March. But I named the Good Deed segment after her. So it's the Mary Faye Headrick Good Deed segment. Named in her honor. So
I noticed on your Facebook page that you'd had some connection with John Kroll in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
She worked for 5 years for the Big Oak Ranch.
Okay.
And so, so Addy saw, even from that, her whole life, she's seen kids come in that situation. It was a lot of times kids from abused, abandoned, neglected homes, and saw what a difference can make in their lives.
Well, I can probably say, just in the few minutes that I was able to visit with John at the ranch, I had started an organization called Difference Makers. It's a nonprofit. It's already established. And I was going to help the homeless how I could in this area. And after talking to him, we talked about the focus and trying to figure out what I really needed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the radio show had just been created. So I found that now the radio show is going to be a vehicle for Difference Makers to help through the nonprofit. So when these things come up like Heat Up Huntsville and these other organizations, then Difference Makers can actually help that as opposed to being the direct, because I'm getting a lot of things through my show that I can help other people.
That's awesome.
And so that's something I'm unrolling. I've got to meet with my board here in the next few days or so and try to arrange how we're going to do this, but let people donate to Difference Makers and then be able to send out through Difference Makers.
Very cool.
So I started Difference Makers last year just before I started this radio show.
Okay.
So let me give this lady a call. Y'all can hang in here just 1 second if you want to. Let me call her. Show will be over in just a few minutes. Yeah, you did really good, Addy.
Hello.
Hey, Debbie.
Hi.
This is Mark White. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Let me turn down your volume just a little bit. I'm doing okay. And we're about to enter the Good Deed segment for my show.
Mm-hmm.
Turn mine down, Ken. Okay, keep talking, Debbie. Just say testing 1, 2, 3 will be fine.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Yes, I'm still here. You're good. And we are back. Right now, we have a very important Mary Faye Headrick Good Deed segment. We are looking for Blaine Pugh. Blaine Pugh is a sergeant in the Mississippi National Guard. He's been missing since December the 18th, last seen in Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm on the line right now with his mom, Debbie Hudson. Welcome to the Mark White Show, Debbie.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I saw your post, and when I see these things, I try to utilize my show and make it a vehicle to help people like yourself. And I want you to be able to find your son, and I want to help get the word out. If you would, just tell us a little bit about Blaine, and then we can talk about the search that's ongoing.
Well, Blaine he just made 32 years old yesterday, and he's been in the National Guard since he's 18. He was living in D'Iberville and then ended up in Biloxi since December 18th. And he's about 5, and he's frail now, from what I understand. He was 175 pounds, but I don't think he weighs that much anymore.
Okay.
And he's missed a few weekends with drill with the National Guard. So from my understanding, he's homeless, walking the streets of Biloxi in Mississippi and going into
the casinos to try and get food. Someone stole his phone, so I don't have any way to contact him. I'm reaching out as much as I can.
Have you got anywhere right now that's a group that's formed that's out there looking the streets for Blaine yet?
There are groups out there looking, and one of them's missing persons group, I believe it's called.
Okay.
Halo, and I'm sorry, Mike, I can't remember the name of the other group.
No, you're fine. Well, the main objective right now is making sure that Blaine is safe and taken care of wherever he's at. And you do feel that he's in the Gulfport area still, possibly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, and if you're listening right now and you are near Gulfport, Mississippi, I have actually shared pictures on the Mark White Show Facebook page, and I'll share them again as well so that you'll have a picture. But if you're in Gulfport and we can look for Blaine and you can help this family, you can send me a message and let me know if you come in contact with him. But I hope that you'll try to help Debbie as much as you can. And we're going to try to continue to help you, Debbie. I'm concerned about him out there walking the streets and having to look for food, because that's definitely not a position that any of us want to be in. And whatever the circumstances are, we want to make sure that Blaine is safe.
Yes, thank you. I just want him safe. I want him found. I'm not sure if, I'm not sure what condition he's in right now.
Right.
And I have to, I reached out to the National Guard as well, but I'm just worried. I'm very worried.
What did the National Guard tell you?
The National Guard said that they would reach out to his sergeant, which they have, and also that I needed to get in touch with the local police station, and I have done that as well. So they would contact me on the next drill date and let me know if he shows up. So I don't understand why I'm not getting more help from them.
Okay.
But I want to find my son.
Sure. Well, and after our interview, I'll get a phone number for the Mississippi National Guard and try to get in touch as well. And if you would tell me, has a report been filed with Gulfport, Mississippi Police Department?
I need to call Gulfport this morning. I'll be calling them when we hang up.
Okay.
To file another report. I called Biloxi. They'll only take a welfare check report over the phone.
Right.
It's not in state.
I understand.
So it won't be listed as a missing person. It's just a welfare check.
Okay. Well, and you hope that something productive will come from a welfare check, but if need be, you'll need to go to Gulfport and do a physical report there with them to do a missing person report. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are you located right now, Debbie?
In New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay. That's a fairly significant drive to Gulfport, but I know you'll make it if you have to. And I do want to tell you that we're praying for your son, Blaine, praying for you, because I know as a mom, it's got to be a terrible situation not to know where your son is. He had his birthday yesterday, would have turned 32-year-old man out in Gulfport, Mississippi, in that area, needing help. And we're going to try to do what we can through the Mark White Show to help him.
I'm very grateful for it. Thank you so much. Thank
you for taking time with me, Debbie, and I appreciate it. Do you have a way that people can contact, or do you just want them to go through my show if they have information about Blaine Pugh?
And they go through your show until I set up something with Gulfport?
That'll be fine. People can message me through the Mark White Show or send me an email, themarkwhiteshow@gmail.com, themarkwhiteshow@gmail.com. Send me an email. If you have any information, if you want to help down in Gulfport, Mississippi, find Blaine J. Pugh. That's P-U-G-H. His date of birth, 1/3/1987. Just turned 32 yesterday in Gulfport, Mississippi. Last seen in that area. He's been missing since December the 18th, 2018. And a missing person report will be filed today. And the welfare check report has already been done. So if you can help, let me know. Send me a message, and we'll try to help Debbie Hudson however we can. Thank you for joining me today, Debbie.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
See
Thank
you later.
you.
And that was Debbie Hudson. Her son right now is missing. Blaine, Blaine J. Pugh. Blaine J. Pugh, date of birth 1/3/1987. If you can help down in the Gulfport, Mississippi area, I'll post another picture of him on the Mark White Show Facebook page, so you can grab that from there. And if you want any more information, you can send a message. If you have some information, the Army National Guard in Gulfport, Mississippi, I have. Thank you, Mr. Ken. I have their number now. I'll give them a call when we're done with the show here in just a few minutes. But I want to thank my guests today. I want you to remember Brenda Brunson and her husband, Marty, and what he's going through needing a kidney donation. Also, remember Raymond Thompson and his wife, Mylen, who's needing a kidney donation as well. All these folks I've posted on the Facebook page. We appreciate Addy Humphrey with Heat Up Huntsville joining us today. And I want you to go to Heat Up Huntsville on Facebook page. And I appreciate Debbie Hudson being willing to come on to talk about her son, Blaine Pugh. We hope that all these folks get the help that they need, the things that they need through whatever they're trying to do. That's what the Mark White Show is about. We want to try to help make a difference where we can. And I want each person that's listening to understand that you can make a difference. Small things, big things, whatever you can do, just find something you can do on a daily basis to help other people. There's nothing better in this life that we can do than to help others. That's where our legacy continues on after we're gone, is what we did for other people. They may not remember us, but they'll remember what we did, and they'll remember what it did for them and their children and their grandchildren. And that's how we continue to help our brothers and sisters through this world, through that, being a help to them. Make a difference where you can. Encourage and inspire others. When you go through a difficult time, use that time to encourage and inspire others to make a difference as well. That's an opportunity for you to make a difference in the lives of others. Your challenges may be the very thing that a person needs to hear about, and to hear the fact that you overcame them to make a difference yourself. And we've had a lot of people here through 2018 to come on the Mark White Show that are definitely difference makers and making a difference in the lives of others. And we're going to have more people in 2019. I'm telling you, as the Mark White Show has grown, I'm getting more messages from people, more people needing assistance. And I'm glad that they're willing to reach out to this show to try to find it. And I want to try to help however I can. I'm just one person, but I'll do whatever I can. And if I can't help, then I'll find somebody who can. But I appreciate each and every one of you tuning into the Mark White Show every week, following the Facebook page. You can follow the Facebook page. It's The Mark White Show. Follow me on Twitter at Mark White Show, and also on Instagram at The Mark White Show. I'd love to have new followers keeping up with what we're trying to do. I share pictures. I share stories. These are opportunities for your help, whether it's a child with cancer or a mom who just lost her son to suicide, or an organization who's trying to help the homeless. There's all different things, and there's different ways for you to help. And there's really no excuse out there. If you're looking for a way to help, I'm going to help you find it. And we're going to work together to make a difference in the lives of others through the Mark White Show. So each and every one of you, thank you for tuning in this week. I appreciate you. I hope you'll tune in next Friday. Follow the show throughout the week. I'm posting different things that you need to be aware of. But you've been listening to the Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White. That's it.
There we go.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
Good to meet
We
you.
appreciate it. You
Yeah.
too.
Can we grab a picture? Real
Yes, absolutely. Yep. You want to sit in this chair?
quick? Sure. You got a better phone than me. Or better.
Got it.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thanks again.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes,
very
absolutely. Anytime you've got something, when you become a 501c3, let me know, and then I can put it out there for donations and ways that people can help too. So,
We're planning on probably doing another one in February, another giveaway.
okay.
February, so we'll see, but we'll see how it all falls together.
Got people already bringing stuff again.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So we're loading up.
The lady whose son is missing, they just President Trump just signed the Ashanti law,
Uh-huh.
which is basically an Amber Alert for people over the age of